Have you ever heard of a place so strange, so unsettling, that it defies all logical explanation? A place where the laws of physics seem to bend and reality itself feels thin. Tonight, we're going deep into the heart of Utah's Uinta Basin, to a place that has become a legend in the world of the paranormal, Skinwalker Ranch. For decades, this sprawling 512-acre property has been a hotbed of UFO sightings, bizarre creature encounters, and inexplicable phenomena. But the stories didn't start with modern ufologists. The land has a much older, darker history, one whispered by the Navajo people who live in the region. They speak of a path, a cursed path, used by malevolent shape-shifting beings they call skinwalkers. To them, this land is a place to be feared and avoided at all costs. Our story begins in 1994, when a family, whom we'll call the Gormans to protect their privacy, bought the ranch. They were looking for a quiet life, a place to raise their cattle and their children. They had no idea they were moving into the epicenter of a paranormal storm. Almost immediately after they settled in, the weirdness began. It started with lights in the sky. Not just stars or airplanes, but bright, silent orbs that would hover, dart across the sky at impossible speeds, and sometimes descend low over their fields. Terry Gorman, the father, was a practical man, not one to believe in UFOs. But what he saw night after night challenged everything he thought he knew. These lights weren't just observing. They seemed to be interacting with the ranch. One evening, Terry was out with his dogs when he saw a silent, refrigerator-sized object hovering just above the cattle pen. It was dark, metallic, and completely still. As he watched, a beam of light shot out from the object, illuminating one of his prize bulls. The animal was lifted off the ground, drawn up into the silent craft, and then it was gone. Just like that, the craft zipped away into the night sky, leaving Terry standing there in stunned silence. The family's beloved dogs also seemed to sense the strangeness. They would bark ferociously at unseen things in the night, or cower in fear, refusing to leave the porch. One tragic day, 3 of their best cattle dogs chased a mysterious blue orb into a patch of dense brush. The Gormans heard 3 sharp yelps, and then silence. When they went to investigate, all they found was a patch of scorched earth and a strange, greasy substance on the ground. The dogs were gone, vaporized. The phenomena weren't just confined to the outdoors. Inside their home, things would move on their own. Doors would slam shut and lock themselves. Objects would fly off shelves. The family would hear disembodied voices whispering from empty rooms. Gwen Gorman, the mother, reported seeing a tall, dark figure standing at the foot of her bed one night, watching her. When she screamed, it vanished. They started to feel like they weren't alone, like they were being watched, studied, and tormented by an unseen intelligence. Perhaps the most terrifying encounters involved creatures that seemed to defy classification. Terry reported seeing a massive animal, something like a wolf but far larger, with piercing red eyes. It was impervious to bullets. He shot it at close range with a high-powered rifle, and the creature didn't even flinch. It just stared back at him before calmly trotting away into the darkness. On another occasion, the family saw a strange, hyena-like creature attacking one of their ponies. They watched in horror as the creature tore at the animal with incredible strength before disappearing as if it was never there. The stress was becoming unbearable. The Gormans were living in a constant state of fear. Their cattle were being mutilated in bizarre, surgical ways. They'd find animals dead in their fields with strange incisions, organs removed with no trace of blood. It was as if they were living in a laboratory, and they were the subjects of a terrifying experiment. After 2 years of relentless psychological and physical torment, the Gormans had enough. They put the ranch up for sale, desperate to escape. That's when a billionaire and paranormal enthusiast named Robert Bigelow heard their story. Intrigued, he bought the ranch in 1996 and established the National Institute for Discovery Science, or NEDIS, He brought in a team of highly qualified scientists, physicists, and researchers to study the ranch and get to the bottom of the mystery. You might think that with a team of scientists on site, the activity would stop, but it only intensified. The NEEDS team documented everything. They set up cameras, sensors, and monitoring equipment all over the property. What they recorded was astonishing. They saw the same unidentified aerial phenomena the Gormans had. Orbs of light would play cat and mouse with the researchers, appearing and disappearing at will. They documented magnetic anomalies, spikes in radiation, and strange radio frequencies that seemed to have no earthly source. They even had their own creature encounters. One of the most famous incidents from the NIDS investigation involved what they called the portal. One night, a researcher was observing a strange shimmering distortion in the air above one of the fields. It looked like heat haze, but it was a cold night. As he watched through binoculars, he saw the shimmering air open up, like a window into another place. Through this portal, he saw a bright blue sky, completely different from the dark, starry night in Utah. Then, a large, dark, humanoid creature crawled out of the opening. It was on all fours, and it moved quickly across the field before the portal snapped shut, and the creature vanished into the darkness. The team rushed to the spot, but found no tracks, no evidence it was ever there. The NEEDS team also experienced something they called the hitchhiker effect. The phenomena didn't always stay on the ranch. Team members reported that after leaving the property, strange things would happen at their homes. Poltergeist activity, apparitions, even seeing the same strange creatures from the ranch lurking outside their windows. It was as if something had attached itself to them, following them home. The intelligence behind the phenomena also seemed to be precognitive. If the team planned to set up an experiment in a specific location, the activity in that area would cease completely, only to pop up somewhere else they weren't watching. It was as if the ranch knew their intentions. It was always one step ahead. After years of intensive study and millions of dollars spent, the NEEDS team left the ranch with more questions than answers. They had collected a mountain of data, but they couldn't explain what was happening. Was it extraterrestrial? Interdimensional? Was it connected to the ancient legends of the Skinwalkers? No one knew for sure. In 2016, the ranch was sold again, this time to a man named Brandon Fugel, a real estate mogul who has since opened the ranch up to even more scientific investigation, some of which has been chronicled on television. The strange activity continues to this day. Researchers have captured incredible evidence, from strange energy signatures buried deep within the earth to unidentified craft flying in restricted airspace above the property. Skinwalker Ranch remains one of the greatest mysteries of our time. It's a place where science and the supernatural collide, where the veil between our world and another seems to be impossibly thin. The Gorman story is a chilling reminder that there are some places on this earth that operate by a different set of rules. Whether it's aliens, spirits, or something else entirely, one thing is certain. Something is happening at Skinwalker Ranch, and it doesn't seem to want to be understood. What do you think is going on there? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more true horror stories.